Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 5. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to tackle the circuit of Brands Hatch with the BMW M1000RR. So to the right hand side of your screen you will see my controller overlay. Full transparency, I am using a DualSense controller which is connected wirelessly to my PC, and I'm going to be using the DualShock overlay because I just think it's a better overlay. It's a lot cleaner to look at, and you can see the inputs and the triggers are much better than the other one, so I'm sticking with that for now. Down below in the comment section or in the description, all of my controller configuration is in there as well, so everything you need to know is in this video, and let's try and teach you a bit about Brands Hatch. So first things first, big shout out to Sergio23 for making both the suit and the livery for this FHO BMW bike. Of course, this is what Peter Hickman and Josh Brooks use, and I've got my own sort of version of it, so it's absolutely awesome. But this is what you wanted to see. This is Brands Hatch. We're going to do a good couple of laps here, and that way I can show you my best performance around this circuit. So probably the most difficult part is here, breaking into the Sheens corner. Went a little bit deep there. I'll show you how to do that better towards the latter stage of the video. And now onto the brakes for the left hand side for Sterling's, as we now power on the acceleration to get into the Clark Curve bend. And from here, I'm going to be aiming to get across the line to set a decent lap time. I don't know what my potential is here in Brands Hatch, but I guess we'll find out in a moment's time. So immediately across the line, start braking there as you reach the first braking marker. Downshift all the way down to first gear and keep over to the right as much as you can, but of course the bike is going to keep on pushing you wide. Start braking as that green exits the circuit, so as we have the green near the rumble strip, you can start braking there. Out of Druids nice and tight, then brake nice and early just as you pull the bike into the Graham Hill bend, and then bring on the power. But as you can see, don't bring on the power fully, just gradually bring it on, otherwise you'll go off the circuit and then incur some penalty time, and we don't want to do that, so let's try and avoid that if we can. So keeping the controller in a neutral position once we're straight, that enables the rider to tuck in, and then hard on the brakes at the second braking marker to bring us in to the Hawthorne bend. Bring on your power for the Westfield bend and start braking at the first braking marker to the left hand side of your screen, and then start turning in. Very relaxed, gentle movements with the left analog stick, and brake here just before you reach that first braking marker. You've got to be really careful going into Sheens. It's a difficult corner to get right, and it's one of those ones that you're going to have to practice, and surprisingly, more practice. It's a corner that still even catches me out, so just be very careful. Into Sterling's. So anyway, into Sheens. Sterling's is not actually the problem. Sheens is the right-hander. Very difficult. So, over the line, we will improve, will we not? We didn't improve, but we're still very close to our 123.6. So into the right-hand side, still bringing on the power, moving that right analog stick, left analog stick, apologies, to the right. Braking on the green, the big fat part of the green. You can see it, that's exactly where I start braking for Druids. Brake here just as you go into the left-hand side. Don't want to be too aggressive on the brakes there because on an angle you will tuck the front, so be very careful. Brake in the middle of those two braking zones, bit too late that time around. Didn't quite go where I wanted to go, but with a nice smooth acceleration in the right gear, you can power out of Surtees and set yourself up for this long straight. Braking quite firm at the second braking point on the left-hand side of your screen, into the Hawthorne bend, and we go on the power again. Braking early for the Westfield bend. Try and get the bike a little bit loose so you can just pull it in gradually to the Westfield corner. And now uphill into Dingledell and then into Sheens. It's very difficult turn 8. It's not easy to get right, I will reiterate that. It is a difficult corner, but rest assured, follow my advice and follow my lines, you will be absolutely fine. So let's start talking about the way the buttons are being pressed. Now, first thing I want you to notice, apart from the acceleration on the straights, we're not really pushing any of these buttons to their full maximum press. The brakes very rarely get pushed to full. The only times I would do that is where, for example, going into Druids here, we're going to go firm on the brakes and then gradually release. Being able to trail brake is huge in Ride 5, in any motorcycle game to be honest. You need to be able to be strong on the brakes and then gradually let off as you get progressively closer towards the apex. You're going to see in every single corner do the same. Firm brake, gradually release, slowly let go as you go into the corner. Works every single time. As I accidentally double shifted there, that's my mistake. Well, onto the brakes again, hard onto the brakes, letting off, completely remove it. You'll see it again going into Westfield in a moment's time. There's the first braking marker, firm brakes, reduce it, let go. Easy as that. Very, very simple. It's a great technique to learn, and it's a great technique to get the hang of once you do it, because you'll see the difference. In each and every corner you're going to get that initial stopping power, but still have enough to maneuver the bike if you need to. And of course, getting into the apex puts you in a great situation just to gradually bring on the power to then launch out the corner at the best possible speed. And that's how I need to do it in Brands Hatch, and that's how you need to do it in majority of circuits as well. So again, this time around you can't really brake fully, so you do need to brake a little bit towards half button press, full button press here into the right hand side, reduce acceleration, reduce the brake, and then move in to Druids. Get back onto the power, pull into the left hand side again, nice and smooth upon the brakes. Now you may have noticed that the square button is getting quite the press as well. The square button is my rear brake. I do find that I use the rear brake quite a lot. Majority of the time it is for straight line braking and mid corner. Now if you're in a corner and you're already going too fast, the last thing you want to do is hit the brake really hard. If you do that, the bike will drop and it's a crash. So the way we combat that is by implementing the rear brake. The rear brake will still slow the bike down, but it won't have enough force to just drop the bike. So you will see the rear brake does get quite the usage out of me in certain corners. Not every corner, because it's not necessary. But for the majority of the corners, anything that I'm letting the bike twist and turn into itself, I'm going to use the rear brake. You can see it just getting tapped every now and again. Now the rear brake's usage is probably down to like 10% compared to the front brake's 90%. You do need the front brake a hell of a lot more than the rear brake. I know some players that don't even use the rear brake, but for me, I definitely like to use it. I'm going to use it here, help slow the bike down. A lot more onto the corner exit, or corner entry should I say. And now onto the exit. Let's take a look into the Graham Hill bend. I'm going to use the rear brake now, and I'm going to hold it as much as I can to really pull in the bike to the apex, because it's reducing speed and it's also cutting down on that understeer. It helps a lot. I will reiterate how useful I find the rear brake in this game. I used it a lot in MotoGP, I used it a lot in Superbike 22, and I used it a lot in Ride 4 as well. So I definitely recommend implementing it into your riding. You might find it works, you might find it doesn't. Definitely try out and see what works best for you. But for the final couple of laps, let's focus on trying to really hammer home the points that we need to look at. This corner here, Sheens, is going to be a really difficult one for you to get used to and to really learn. Definitely recommend spending majority of your time there. Even if you want to use rewind and just keep rewinding that corner just until you get it right, that's definitely something I recommend doing. And then even into the Clark curve, because there are so many ways you can enter this corner and so many ways you can exit it without actually deciding on how you want to tackle that corner. So across the line we do a 123.8, so every lap we've stayed in the 123, so let's hope on this one we can now move into the lower parts of the 123. So onto the brakes we go. Pushing backwards on the left analog stick is probably something I've not really mentioned in today's video. The reason I do that is to push the rider's weight backwards so it keeps the rear wheel planted when you go firm on the brakes. And I also find the way I move the analog stick, as you can see in this corner here, pushing backwards and then leaning across to the left hand side really allows you to push the analog stick in a controlled manner. And that's something I'm always trying to do whilst playing Ride 5. I'm always trying to be in control, always trying to handle the bike properly, and just to casually play the game rather than aggressively pushing in every single corner. There's no real need. You can relax and take your time and just hold the controller gently, but have your thumb in a nice position that it feels comfortable and easy to respond to. So into the braking zone and then into the left hand side. Didn't upshift in time there, so we did get a moment where the bike started to scream, but we're up by a couple of thousandths of a second, so this could be an improvement as we now go firm on the brakes into the right hand of the Clark curve, and hopefully this will be enough for top spot. Fast on the acceleration across the line. Is it enough? It is not. But still, valuable lessons to be learned here in Brands Hatch. So guys, that's it from me. Here are my lap times on screen. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section down below what sort of track you would like me to cover next. More than happy to try and cover every single lap and track in Ride 5, so I'll get round to them when I can. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. If it did, let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.